In 11 years working food and beverage at Disneyland, I watched families of four spend an average of $240 a day just on meals. Not tickets, not hotels, just food. And here's what bothered me the most. About 80% of those families had no idea they could have eaten the exact same food, sometimes better food, for a fraction of that price. They just didn't know what to ask for, when to show up, or where to look. I know what you might be thinking. You've probably been to Disneyland enough times that you think you know all the tricks. Maybe you've even used a few mobile order shortcuts or split a turkey leg with your kid. But here's the thing. I wasn't a guest trying to outsmart the system. I was the guy behind the counter watching the same patterns play out every single shift for over a decade. The hidden menu items most guests never ask about. The portions that are big enough to feed two adults but get sold as a single serving. The free items that are sitting right there available to anyone who knows the magic words. My name's Marcus Halloway. I just left Disneyland after 11 years. Started as a quick service cast member at one of the busiest locations in the park, moved up to lead at a sit-down restaurant, and spent my last 3 years as a food and beverage coordinator overseeing multiple locations. And now that I don't have a name tag to protect, I can finally tell you what active cast members can't. If you find this helpful at any point, hit that like button and subscribe with notifications on. I've got more stories to share than you'd believe. What I'm about to share isn't some clickbait list of hacks. These are real strategies, real menu items, and real workarounds that exist inside the system. Cast members know about them. We use them ourselves on our breaks, but Disney doesn't put them in the brochure, and they only work if you know exactly what to ask for and when. I'm talking about real money. Hundreds of dollars per visit left on the table by families who thought they had to choose between a magical day and not going broke. So in this video, I'm walking you through how to eat well at Disneyland for under $20 a day per person. Not protein bars from your backpack. Not skipping meals. Real food in the park, that'll actually fill you up. Let's start with the mistake that drains your wallet before you even take your first bite. The biggest money drain at Disneyland isn't the souvenir cup or the Mickey balloon. It's deciding what to eat after you're already starving. When you walk into the park hungry without a plan, you stop at the first place that smells good, and you end up paying $18 for a burger that didn't even satisfy you. I watched this happen thousands of times. A family walks up, parents are tired, kids are melting down, and they order the first thing they see on the menu board. 20 minutes later, they're throwing away half the food because nobody actually wanted it. The fix is simple, but almost nobody does it. Before you enter the park, open the Disneyland app and look at the menus for at least 3 quick service locations. Pick where you're going to eat lunch and dinner before you ever scan your ticket. This single habit will save you about $40 a day because you stop making panic purchases. Cast members eat with a plan. Guests eat with their emotions. The plan always wins. Here's something most guests never realize. Almost every quick service location at Disneyland has portions that are designed for adults, but they're large enough to feed 2 people if you order smart. I'm talking about specific items that cast members order all the time because they know the kitchen sends them out oversized. The pulled pork sandwich at one of the main quick service spots in the park comes with a pile of meat that's honestly closer to a pound than a half pound. Add a side of rice and beans for a few dollars, and you've got a meal that 2 adults can split for around $10 each. The chicken plate at the same kind of location, same story. The portion is huge because they're cooking in volume, not because they're being generous. Walk up to the counter and order 1 entree. Ask for an extra plate and split it. Nobody's going to stop you. I saw cast members do this on every single break. Guests think they need to order 1 meal per person. That's the trap. Now here's one that genuinely costs guests money every single day. Refillable popcorn buckets and souvenir cups. They feel like a great deal. You buy the bucket once for around $13 and refills are only a few bucks. But here's what cast members know that guests don't. The refill price only makes sense if you're going to refill it at least 4 times during your trip. Most families refill once, maybe twice, and they've actually paid more than they would have for 2 regular popcorns. If you're doing a single-day visit, skip the souvenir packaging entirely. If you're staying 3 days or more and you love popcorn, then it makes sense. The math only works in your favor under specific conditions. Cast members don't buy these unless they're on a multi-day visit. Now you know why. If you're getting value out of this, do me a favor and hit that subscribe button. I'm just getting to the strategies that'll really change how you visit the park. Free water. This is the one that drives me crazy because the savings are massive and nobody asks for it. Every single quick service location at Disneyland is required to provide free cups of ice water on request, not the bottled water that costs nearly $5. Real, cold, filtered water in a cup, completely free. All you have to do is walk up to any counter, even if you're not ordering anything, and politely ask for a cup of water. The cast member will hand it to you. No purchase required. A family of 4 drinking 3 bottles of water each per day is spending close to $60 on water alone. Switch to free water from the counter, and you've saved enough to feed your entire family lunch. Here's a related one that almost nobody uses. Refillable water bottles paired with the water fountains throughout the park. Disneyland has water fountains and bottle filling stations scattered all over both parks. Bring an insulated bottle from home, fill it up when you enter, and refill it as you go. You'll stay hydrated, you'll save a fortune, and your bottle of ice water will stay cold for hours in the California heat. The bottled water trap exists because Disney knows tired, hot guests will pay almost anything. Don't be that guest. Now let's talk about the single biggest meal hack in the entire park, the kids' meal trick. This one is technically not against the rules. I'm just going to say that up front. Kids' meals at Disneyland are available to anyone who wants to order them. There's no age requirement enforced at the register. A kid's meal typically includes a main item, a side, a drink, and a small dessert or fruit, all for around $8 to $10. The portions are smaller than the adult meals, but for a lot of people, especially in the heat, that's actually the right amount of food. I watched adult cast members order kids' meals constantly because the value is unmatched. If you're not a huge eater, ordering a kid's meal saves you about $8 per meal compared to the adult equivalent. Over a full day, that's potentially $16 to $24 in savings just for you. For a family where the adults aren't massive eaters, this strategy alone can cut your food budget in half. The next one is one of the most overlooked deals in the entire resort: breakfast. Most guests skip a real breakfast because they want to get into the park as fast as possible. So they end up grabbing an overpriced pastry inside the park for $8 that doesn't fill them up, and they're hungry again by 10 in the morning. Here's what cast members do. There's a quick service location in downtown Disney that serves a full breakfast for under $12. Eggs, breakfast meat, a starch, the works. You eat it before you enter the park, you're full until early afternoon, and you've already saved money compared to eating inside the gates. If you're staying at a Disney hotel or even just nearby, scouting out a breakfast spot before you enter the park is one of the smartest financial moves you can make. A real breakfast for under $12 beats a $9 pastry every single time. Let's stay on breakfast for a moment, because this next tip blew my mind the first time a cast member showed it to me. Many of the quick service locations that serve breakfast inside the park have a basic breakfast platter that costs around $11 to $13. But here's the trick. That platter is huge. Eggs, potatoes, breakfast meat, and a biscuit or pastry. One platter can easily feed 2 people if you ask for an extra plate. 2 adults splitting one breakfast platter is around $6 to $7 each, and you'll both be full until lunch. Once you start seeing the menu through the lens of what can I share, the entire park opens up. Here's another one that almost no guest knows about: the mobile order timing trick. When you mobile order through the Disneyland app, you can pick a return time window. Most guests pick whatever window is available right now because they're hungry. That's a mistake. The smart move is to mobile order your lunch an hour before you actually want to eat. Pick the latest available window at that moment. By the time you arrive, your food is freshly prepared and waiting. You skip the line entirely, and you don't waste 30 minutes of your day standing around. The savings here aren't dollars, they're time, which is the most valuable currency at Disneyland. Every 30 minutes you save in a food line is another 30 minutes you can spend doing the thing you actually paid to do. Now here's a strategy that genuinely saved cast members hundreds of dollars over the course of a year. Bringing your own snacks into the park. This surprises a lot of people, but Disneyland allows guests to bring outside food and snacks into the park. There are some restrictions: no glass containers and no large coolers, but small backpacks with granola bars, fruit, sandwiches, chips, and cookies are completely allowed. Security will check your bag, see your snacks, and wave you through. A family of 4 bringing snacks for the day eliminates roughly $30 to $40 in impulse snack purchases. Combine this with one well-chosen meal in the park, and you're suddenly under $20 per person for a full day of eating. The myth that you have to buy all your food inside the park is just that, a myth. If this is opening your eyes, smash that like button and subscribe with the notification bell on. I want you to be ready for everything I'm about to reveal. Let's talk about the holy grail of Disneyland food deals: sharing entrees at sit-down restaurants. Most guests assume sit-down dining at Disneyland is out of their budget, so they default to quick service for every meal. But here's what I learned working in the industry. Many of the sit-down restaurants at Disneyland and Downtown Disney have entrees that are large enough for 2 people, and most of them allow you to add an extra plate for a small fee or no fee at all. A $24 entree split between 2 people works out to about $12 each for a sit-down, air-conditioned meal with table service. That's cheaper than most quick-service meals, and the experience is dramatically better. Just walk in, tell the server you'd like to share, and ask if they can split the plate in the kitchen or bring an extra plate to the table. Almost every restaurant will do this without a second thought. Here's a related move: late lunch instead of dinner. Most sit-down restaurants in the resort have the same menu and the same prices all day, but the experience is wildly different depending on when you go. Show up for dinner at 7 in the evening, you're waiting an hour, and the place is chaos. Show up at 3 in the afternoon, you walk right in, you get attentive service, and you can order the exact same food. If you're trying to do a real meal on a budget, late lunch is the move every single time. Now here's one that surprised even me when I first found out: sharing desserts. The famous oversized desserts at certain Disneyland restaurants are designed to be shared. The kitchen actually expects it. A single dessert that costs around $12 to $15 can easily serve 3 or 4 people, and the staff will bring you as many spoons as you need. I watched families order 1 dessert each for 4 people and waste half of every plate. Then I watched another family order 1 dessert for the table and leave with the same memory at a quarter of the cost. The portion sizes at these themed restaurants are huge because the experience is the point, not the calories. Let's talk about something that costs guests way more than it should: drinks. Soda at Disneyland costs around $5 per cup. A family of 4 ordering soda with every meal is spending $60 a day on beverages alone. Here's what cast members know: free water from any counter, as I mentioned, but also many quick service locations include a drink as part of a combo meal, but charge extra if you order the main item by itself and add a drink. The combo is almost always the better value, but only if you're actually going to drink the soda. If you're not, skip the combo entirely and grab free water. The math really matters here. A combo might be $16 while the entree alone is $12. If you weren't going to spend $4 on a soda anyway, the combo isn't a deal. Here's one of the best-kept secrets in the entire park. Cast members get discounts at certain locations during certain hours, And those discounts sometimes apply to friends and family they're dining with. You can't fake your way into this one, but here's why I'm telling you. If you know someone who works at Disneyland, even casually, ask if they'd be willing to meet you for a meal. Cast member discounts can be substantial, and a meal that costs $50 normally might cost $30 with the discount applied. This isn't a trick you can do on your own, but it's a reminder that the system has flexibility built in for those who know how to access it. We're almost at the finish line. If you haven't yet, hit subscribe and turn on notifications. I share these kinds of insider strategies regularly. Now here's the big one, the strategy that brings everything together. Build your day around 2 real meals and free or cheap snacks in between. Most guests eat 3 full meals plus impulse snacks, and that's why they spend $80 per person on food. Cast members eat differently. We'd have a real breakfast outside the park or split a breakfast platter inside, snack on something we brought from home or a kid's meal item mid-morning, eat a shared entree for lunch in the early afternoon, snack on free popcorn samples or fruit later, and then split a sit-down meal at late lunch as our final real meal of the day. Total cost per person? Often under $20. Often well under $20. The trick isn't depriving yourself. The trick is recognizing that the parks are designed to make you eat constantly, and you don't have to play that game. Here's the thread running through every single one of these strategies. Disneyland built the food system with flexibility. They built it with options. They built it with portions large enough to share and free items available on request. They just don't advertise it because they don't have to. Most guests will keep ordering 1 meal per person, paying for bottled water, and grabbing impulse snacks every hour. But you don't have to be that guest. If even one of these tips saves you $50 on your next trip, please drop a like on this video. It really helps the channel. You don't have to memorize every single one of these. Pick 3 or 4 that fit your trip. Maybe it's free water and shared entrees. Maybe it's the kids' meal strategy and outside snacks. Whatever you pick, build a small plan before you walk through those gates. 11 years of watching families overspend taught me one thing. The guests who had the best experiences weren't the ones who spent the most on food. They were the ones who ate well, stayed under budget, and used the savings to do the things they actually came for. So here's what you do before your next visit. Open the app, scout your meals, pack a bag of snacks, refill your water bottle, and walk into the park with a plan. The magic of Disneyland isn't in the food court. The magic is in the rides, the shows, the moments with your family. Food is fuel for those moments, and fuel should never cost you the whole vacation. If this video saved you even one unnecessary food purchase, hit that like button, smash subscribe, and turn on the notification bell so you don't miss what's coming next. Next time, I'm revealing the 3 exact phrases that got guests free dessert upgrades I wasn't technically supposed to approve. You won't want to miss it.